Hey friends, welcome to the Taste Toast Travel Podcast. We're your hosts and resident foodies, Epicureans, and lovers of all things travel and exploration.
I'm John, and I'm a certified somm and a certified specialist of wine, and I've worked in the wine and hospitality industry for over 10 years.
I'm Tara, and I've worked in the wine industry for over 7 years, both in hospitality and digital marketing.
When my wife and I first met, we bonded over our love of eating, drinking, and traveling the world. That passion has only grown over time. Now we want to share this passion with you from an insider perspective. We're only scratching the surface here, and we have a lot more in store that we can't wait to share with you all. Grab your favorite beverage, get comfortable, and enjoy the journey with us. Cheers.
Welcome back to the Taste Toast Travel Podcast. I'm Tara.
And I'm John.
And I've got a nice little Pinot from Anderson Valley here today. You don't have anything, do you?
I do not.
Oh, how lame.
It's hump day.
I'm in this by myself today. And a fun little random selection of topics that we've been kind of wanting to cover, but don't sort of warrant their own episodes. So I'm excited to get into some of this today.
Yeah. Tell me more.
Yeah, I was going to say. Guess what I want to cover first? Just take a guess. Read my mind. Husband, wife, telepathy right now.
Formula One.
No, I was gonna maybe talk. Well, actually, we can start there.
Oh,
yeah.
So was I right?
No, you weren't. But we'll cover what I want to cover next. Yeah. Let's actually start with Formula One. And by the way, this is like, I know it's not. I don't know. I always kind of think like, does this fall under like the taste toast or travel? Like
it's international.
Topic? But yeah, let's go with that. You got to travel to get to them. Typically,
it's true.
That counts. Yeah. Let's
super annoying. Don't want to talk about it.
Yeah. Well, we won't get super into like any specific races in the last 2-3 weeks. I think since we launched that last episode on our experience at the Monza Formula One race, there's been 3 races.
This season?
Yeah.
There's been 2
so far. Okay. So yeah, we won't dig into the races super specifically, although the first one was pretty crazy. You want to talk about that at all, or just your observations, thoughts?
I don't know. It was raining super hard, and it was really frustrating. And I think everyone was just annoyed that it was raining so hard, and it just
was frustrating.
It was just ridiculous. The second race,
yeah, it was a wild race.
Was very frustrating. Just if you're a Ferrari fan, it was just terrible because they finished pretty well, and then they got disqualified because of technical errors. Car was too low for one of the cars, and the other one was, weighing. It weighed 1 kilogram less than it should have been, essentially, by the end of the race. So it was like all these little things, and it was very frustrating, and with a lot of others, I was very annoyed.
A little salty about
Ferrari, yeah.
It's so crazy. I can't remember. Now, listen, I haven't been a Formula One fan for very long. Like, probably since, I don't know, COVID, like 2020, 2021-ish. But I've never heard of, like, either of those two things happening, or, like, teams getting fined for that, or...
I think stuff like that happens, but for it to happen to the same team, both Ferrari cars, like, it's very, very strange. Like,
is this sabotage? Like, what's happening?
It was a very, I don't know. It was a very off-brand thing for them to do, really. And so, I don't know. Hopefully,
not that
it doesn't happen again.
I don't know. I mean, yeah. We didn't even watch that race. I think it was like middle of the night for us. That was China?
Yeah, it was in China. I watched like half of it.
Oh, did you? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, crazy race. Yeah, the first race was wild with the weather and how
it was just pouring rain. It's just
my God, people going off the track. Like, it was wild. That's what's so interesting and kind of, dare I say, fun to me for those races, because you just never know how those are going to go. Like, the best drivers could have just a garbage day because
I mean, there was like,
and then
I can't remember, it was like 6 or 7 like did not finish because of
it was like all the rookies.
It
was funny. Or I think, oh my God, Kimi Antonelli.
He was one of the only ones that lasted.
Like 6th, 7th or something.
Well, yeah, it's easy to do that when everyone else crashes in front of you.
Sore subject. Yeah, well, and then just to kind of finish up this Formula One topic, want to talk Liam Lawson real quick?
Poor guy. Nothing else
Expound.
to. Hey, this poor guy. He had a shot, didn't do well, and so now he's kicked to the back of the line.
The what is it, Racing Bulls?
Yeah.
I think he
Now he's in
right.
the Red Bulls like secondary team.
Yeah, and then Yuki
Like
Tsunoda's
you get a shot, you
yeah.
get it like a chance to do something, and then you don't perform. It's like, well, you had your chance. You just gotta
I
like
mean,
capitalize on your chance. But
well,
to be fair, it's only 2 races.
right.
Like,
That's the whole
but
thing going on like social media and just everywhere right now. It's just like
that makes
even Max
me,
Verstappen,
yeah,
was like on social media liking comments
makes me
about like
think that Red Bull is very because they're making that decision so fast. They're very threatened by other teams, and
mm-hmm.
like last year, I don't think they would have ever taken him out after the 2 races because
Right.
they were doing so well and they were just like such a powerhouse. But this year, other teams have caught up to them, and so it's
Yeah.
like they're
Not
super
Ferrari,
they're super
apparently.
threatened, and they're just like it seems to me like they're freaking out already after 2 races,
Mm-hmm.
and they're making like jump
It's a pretty
decisions.
rash decision.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
kind of a
So
big deal.
I don't know. What do I know? I don't know anything. Whatever.
we're we're talking as if we're team principals.
Yeah, I
Yeah, we
don't
don't
know
know.
what I'm. That's
Yeah,
just
I mean,
from my
I
perspective.
don't, uh, I wouldn't want to be Christian Horner right now. Let's just put it that way. Like,
Yeah, I
uh,
don't know. We'll see what happens.
yeah,
The thing is, if the guy they replace him with, Yuki, if
Yuki,
he
yeah.
does well, man, he'll stay.
You think so?
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah.
And
You
he's
go with who's doing well. I mean, if he gets points and he's doing well, like
mhm.
they're gonna
That's
stay with him.
ultimately what they. Yeah, they're just like sorry. I
Hmm.
mean,
It
it's
is what it
interesting.
is.
I mean, Liam was killing it last year.
It's a
Then
sport of performance. If you're
yeah,
performing, you play. If you don't, you're dead to them.
it's like many other
It's
sports.
just
Like
all about money. If you lose, you don't making money. If you win, you're making money.
yeah. Well, I mean, they're still making their money, but yeah.
No, but I mean just like the team.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah. Anyway, interesting
Yeah.
stuff. We'll keep a pulse on that. So to move into the topic that I
Yes. What did you want to
was
talk about?
well, okay, what happened this weekend that drove me that
Ooh, the parking thing.
crazy? Yes.
Ah, yeah,
How long have I wanted to talk about this on the podcast?
yeah. I
Since
honestly,
before we started.
it's such a crazy social experiment. I just don't
It is
understand it.
fascinating. All right, so let's break this down. What is this parking thing I'm talking about? And this, I mean, doesn't totally relate to. I guess it relates to travel, as in if you're going somewhere and you park, like here's
It's
my deal,
so
and
annoying.
here is I'm taking issue with like most of America right now. Okay, so let's say you doesn't even have to be that nice of a car, right? You just want to park further away from people so people don't park next to you. And then you make that effort, and in the countless empty spots around you, someone still makes a decision to park right next to you when
Yeah,
there are countless spots around
yeah. It's an empty
that they
parking
could park
lot,
in.
and you park in one, and so you're just the only car in this parking lot. And then you go in the store thinking that like, oh yes, I'm all by myself.
Or you're at least far enough away that you're like, oh, there's no way anyone's going to
And
park out
yeah,
here. Why
and you
would they?
come back and there's 2 cars in this parking lot now, and it parked right next to your car for some weird reason. It's like of all the spots you could park anywhere in this parking lot by yourself, but you choose in this empty parking lot to park right next to the only other car there.
Yep.
I don't understand.
Not even just a spot over. Just a spot over, just to
Yeah,
allow a
just
little
right
space.
next to you. Like I don't understand why people do that.
You guys, the number of times
I don't
this seems
understand.
to happen, certainly to me, definitely to you.
All
But
the
I
time.
feel like me, I don't know, I feel like I get targeted with this for some reason.
All the time.
It's mind boggling and so frustrating because we go out of our way to
You park by
park
ourselves. Yeah.
elsewhere so our car doesn't get hit, so we're not just like why be in between two cars when you kind of don't have to be, right?
Yeah, why
Like
would you?
why?
Why would you? I don't park next to someone if I can help it.
Yeah.
It's just, why would you want to park next to someone? Then when you get out, it's like you can't open the door all the way sometimes, and it's just like a
And I
pain.
also feel like in California, especially, it literally seems like all of our parking spots are just like freakishly small. I don't know
Yeah.
what it always seems to happen in places where it's like, oh my god, could this spot have been any smaller to begin with? And then you had to park there. I don't know, whatever. It just seems to be
Yeah, it's
a
the
thing.
weirdest thing.
I and especially now that we have our daughter, and that right side
Yeah, getting her in
is
and out.
so critical
Yeah.
to getting that child in and out of that car. Because here's the thing. It's not that I don't want to get hit. I don't want to. I'm very, very cautious about not hitting other people too. Number one, because it bangs up my own door. Why would I want that? And also, I just don't, I care about other humans. I don't want to do that to them
Everything
either.
is easier without another car next to you.
Yeah.
Meh.
Yet people do it all the time. When I used to go to the gym and I would park
Yeah, far away.
out
Mhm.
specifically. And it's so funny because, like, especially in America, I don't know what it is. People like have this thing with like parking right up front near a store. It's like no one freaking wants to walk anywhere.
Yeah.
It's stupid. But anyway, but then there are the people that also want to park like out in the middle of nowhere, like us,
Mhm.
and are willing to walk and do all of that, and then insist on that. So I had Googled
I
this
don't know.
because and of course I didn't have it pulled up, but I Googled this because
It's a weird like social thing.
yeah. So it was interesting. Oh yeah, here it is. What? Okay, so I literally Googled why do people park right next to you when there are free spots open. I had no better way of wording that. So it's just according to Google, nothing like any particular website. Um, it says so reasons could be perceived safety, difficulty judging parking space placement, or simply not following the perceived quote best spot. Okay, so let me elaborate on a couple of these. So this perceived safety. I get this, and it's actually really funny because one of my best friends has admitted to me about doing this. She's just like, "Oh my god, I'm totally that person," and I'm like, "Why? Why? Why?" And she's like, "I think subconsciously there's like a comfort in being close to someone else's. You know what I mean? Like almost maybe like a safety in numbers thing."
I don't
Like
understand.
it's just well, and it even says here, some drivers may feel safer parking near other cars, believing that it reduces the risk of their car being broken into or damaged.
I mean,
I
in a
know.
parking lot.
Well, depends on the parking lot, I guess. Like
But
it depends where you are. There could be a variety of but like for us, I feel like it happens at like the stupidest, like Target parking lot or like
Yeah,
what
like
I mean?
Costco.
Like this literally happened this weekend when it happened. Target parking lot,
Yeah.
and literally, and it was so annoying too because I was like towards the back, but then the one spot that this person had to choose was on the right side, so I had to get our daughter in, and I was like, "You gotta be kidding me!" And I just cannot wrap my head around, yeah, the psychology behind that.
I never will understand. It baffles me and it's annoying.
It's the moral of the story. Just the couple other things. Ease of parking. So this is pretty funny. It can be easier to judge the position of your car relative to other parked vehicles, especially for drivers who struggle with parallel parking or judging distances. I don't want to sound mean, but like figure it out. Do you have to practice that against my car? Why?
I don't think that's a good reason.
I don't know if that's enough of one. Listen, again, I don't have a good source on this per se. This is literally just a quick Google search. Other ones, following the best spot. Okay, let me elaborate on that. So if you've parked in what seems like a good spot, i.e. close to the main entrance, which we don't do,
Yeah, we don't.
Others might follow suit, assuming it's the best option. So that's interesting. Maybe people are thinking like, oh, these people parked far away. Like, that's a good idea. I should do that too. But also let me park right now. Like, I guess what I'm wondering is, does the thought not go through people's mind that like, oh, this person parked way the hell out here. That must mean they want to be right next to everyone else. Where is the logic? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like if I wanted to be next to everyone else, I would have parked next to everyone else.
They're crazy. I don't.
It's so funny.
We don't know.
I know. That's the frustrating part. I'm never gonna get an answer to this.
I almost like. I've almost stayed in my car and waited for them to come out just to ask him,
I
hey, why did you park next to me when there's 700 spots around here and you just parked right next? Like, just like, I'm not mad. I'm honestly curious and
no,
I want to know.
yeah, no, you'd be lying. You're mad.
I just
But
want to know what the thought process is. And I'm sure they'll be like, I didn't even think about it. I just came in and parked. I
yeah,
guarantee that's what they would say.
yeah, probably. Or unless if you're like my friend, you're just like, I don't know. There's something about safety numbers.
They're
Because
like,
then the
I
other
don't know.
one, social cohesion. Some people might subconsciously prefer to park near others, possibly associating it with a sense of community or safety. Okay, that's kind of like the other one.
Same
And
thing.
then randomness. It could also just be a random chance, especially in smaller parking lots where there are fewer options. Man, I don't know.
No.
No, like I reject that. Yeah, this is all just kind of saying the right thing. It's super funny though. I'm just like quickly looking. There's like Reddit posts about this and Quora posts and stuff like that, and
It's so weird.
people are as pissed as we are.
It's so weird.
This is pretty funny. Anyway, random vent for the day. I had to. If you guys please like DM us, email us. Like I'm so curious if other people deal with this too. We can't be the only ones, but like
I wonder if they
or-
get like this anxiety thing where they pull into a parking lot and they're just like,
yeah,
oh my God, I just need to park.
maybe.
I don't know. Weird.
Maybe. I've done that. I've panic parked before, but not in that regard to where I'm like, I still am
So
always like, how
weird.
could I not be next to somebody?
So weird.
Yeah. Anyway, it's funny. Okay. Moving on. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Okay. So completely switching gears now.
Oh.
This will be a quick one, but this has been more in the news and stuff recently, and I've seen a lot of like content creators and stuff posting about this. And I'm just gonna again just quick Google search here. I'm just reading. Starting in 2026, U.S. citizens and others from visa-exempt countries will need an. I'm just gonna ETIAS. I was gonna try and like pronounce that phonetically. ETIAS.
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 It's an ETIAS.
Whatever. That takes way too long to say. Which stands for European Travel Information and Authorization System. It's basically requiring an online application and payment before travel. Okay, so basically, it is a system for visa-exempt travelers entering the Schengen area, which is that group of 30 European countries, for short stays up to 90 days in any 180-day period.
Yeah, that's not. I mean, that's the same.
Yeah, so I mean, literally, if you're going for 2 weeks or something, that would still apply, right? Yeah. Says who needs it? Citizens of countries that currently have visa-free access to the EU will need it. This is more just FYI, by the way, for anybody who's here listening that was not aware of this. I'm just gonna run through some quick FAQs, needs to knows. Needs to knows.
Needs to know.
That's not a thing. But anyway, when will it be implemented? Fully operational in the last quarter of 2026. Okay, so we're looking at like a good year and a half as of the time of this recording, if not a little bit longer. I mean, at least they're giving us enough notice.
And they might push it back like they did with that Real ID thing.
Did they push that back? Oh,
It's like
no, they
3
did.
times.
They did. You're right. Yeah.
It was like, I think it was like originally it was like 2020 you needed it, and then they pushed it back like 2022 or something. I don't remember.
Let's see. How to apply. Travelers will need to apply for it online before their trip. Wow, the cost. Guess what the cost is?
$7.
Yeah, it's like 7 years.
Is it?
Yeah, it's $7.47.
Nice.
US dollars. Yep, €7. That's funny. Validity. Once approved, an ETIAS is valid for 3 years.
Wow.
Or until your passport expires, whichever comes first. Oh, that's way longer. I thought you would have to
every time
like,
you go
every
or
trip.
something.
Yeah, which I was like, that's a pain in the ass. But
3 years. Yeah.
oh,
That's
cool.
still kind of
Okay.
a pain in the ass.
I mean, no, whatever. That's fine.
Anytime you have to get any type of document
I mean, yeah,
is a pain in the ass.
not ideal, but whatever. That's not bad at all. Passport validity. Your passport must be valid for at least 3 months after your intended departure from the European countries requiring ETIAS.
Yeah.
It must be valid for at least 3 months after your intended departure. I feel like that's like a thing. Anyway.
You don't need I mean, right now you don't need a visa. You can just use your passport.
Right. Yeah. So if anyone's wondering why, it's basically just to enhance border security and streamlining entry for approved travelers. So fair enough. And then the Schengen area, that is definitely something you might want to Google if you're not familiar. It's, like I said, 30 countries. Um, yeah, interesting. Anyway, FYI, on that little travel update, wasn't there one that went into effect for Britain as well, or the UK?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm gonna
because the
look that
UK
up
is
really
not
quick.
in the EU
Well,
anymore,
yeah, of course, but
so they have their own set of
I'm looking
rules.
up UK travel advisory.
I don't know.
There was something
I have a
about that.
European passport, so I can go wherever I
Oh,
want.
you do?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. By the way, no update on my citizenship since the last time we did that episode. In case anyone was wondering,
Hot
I know.
take. We're not going to hear anything for a long time.
I know. Well, I'm still under the impression that I might be able to get it in less time than I normally would because we have a daughter. I
Yeah,
think normally it's 3 years. And then I heard if you have kids, it like cuts it in half or it's like a year and a half or something.
yeah. I don't know.
So pray for me. Hopefully
I really don't know.
that's the case. Okay. Well, that's not very helpful
I,
for you being a citizen. I'm just saying.
Nobody understands the Italian bureaucracy.
Not even
Not even
Italians.
the bureaucrats.
Oh, that's funny. Another fun little thing here was the digital nomad visa. I wanted to bring this up. We were chatting about this recently, and you mentioned you didn't know much about it, so I wasn't sure.
All I know is that
how
a lot
much
of
everyone here
people
listened to
used
you.
it during COVID.
Oh, I kind of thought it was older than that, although I don't know
You
when it
mean
went
younger?
into. That's what I said.
Mm-hmm. That's what I heard.
Yeah, for sure. Uh, yeah. So basically, it's pretty cool, and it hit home for me just because I am technically in a role where I could
Digital
kind of
nomad.
sort of work from anywhere ish. Yeah. But basically, for those who kind of aren't aware of it or haven't heard of it, it is a document. Well, this is from Investopedia, by the way. I'll put the link in the show notes. But it's a document or program that gives someone the legal right to work remotely while residing away from their country. A digital nomad being someone obviously who lives a nomadic lifestyle and can have the technology or ability to work from wherever.
Mm-hmm.
Just in case we need to clarify that. And yeah, so it's crazy now. Over 50 regions offer remote working visas.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of blowing up. I'm seeing it a lot. I not on TikTok very often, but I see it a lot on Instagram. Like I definitely follow some people that
Yeah.
um
More countries kind
either
of joined in.
yeah, have talked about it or these creators like literally have like made their business out of um
Nomading digitally.
yeah, and honestly it looks incredible, not gonna lie. So yeah, so basically just like hot take, key takeaways from this. Obviously you can live and work in the in another country. So to clarify, these visas are available to students and workers, although the cost and requirements tend to vary. Many countries that offer these visas allow individuals to apply for themselves and other dependents. Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it is cool.
So interesting. So if I, well, I could still kind of get to Italy 3 years, I guess. But if I wanted to do this, that's interesting. I could do it kind of for myself.
You could.
And then I was trying to look for. Sorry, I'm kind of like scouring this. Just in terms of like how long you can stay for, and it's not like readily saying it, but it says
I don't know
okay,
if there's a limit.
well, I feel like there would have to be. Okay, so this kind of and clarifies, and this gives a little bit of an idea of the cost. So both workers and students can use digital nomad visas, although the costs and requirements may differ. For example, the Bahamas extended access travel stay allows students to study remotely for 1 academic year. They must provide a valid student ID in addition to other documents and must pay $500
Oh, that's cool.
for a permit on top of the $25 application
So
fee.
if you're just enrolled in online classes or something, you could move there and just like be online class there. That's cool.
I guess. Oh, are you saying like work being
You're a student.
your student here,
Yeah.
but you want to just do it from somewhere else?
Yeah. That's what it said.
Sure, I guess. Yeah. Huh. I mean, if we're understanding that correctly, that's super cool. Some countries allow employers to apply for digital nomad visa for their company. So, for example, Dominica's program, I'm not sure what Dominica is. Is that? Oh, yeah, anyway. Program charges $800 plus an additional $500 for each employee for a business of 4 or more people. Ooh,
Hmm.
yeah. Well, I don't know. I guess in retrospect, um, that's not too bad. But in terms of like who offers these visas, as of 2025, over 50 regions offer programs for temporary remote workers.
Cool.
So it huge list here. I will not obviously name them all. Yeah. Oh wow, this is a helpful article. It goes literally country by country and
Hmm.
kind of gives some details. So if I were to look really quick, oh, Italy's not on there. Interesting. Um, Let me just look at Portugal, for example. So it offers 2 versions of that income visa. Long-term residency visa is valid for 4 months with a required 2-year extension. So it's interesting. All right, so I won't go line by line here because obviously I think it just completely depends on the country. Like for example, one of the girls that I follow is in Spain, and I think they have different, like qualifications or lengths of stay and things like that. But
Hmm.
anyway, kind of interesting. I think
Yeah.
I'm seeing this more and more. I think, and it's just interesting too. I think more and more people are just kind of craving this a little bit. You know what I
I
mean?
mean,
Or
if you don't have to be somewhere,
wanting to get out
why would you
of
be?
a lot of people want to get out of the U.S. for a variety of reasons. Um, but and also just like who wouldn't want to go live and work in another country?
My
I would
a
imagine if
lot
you're
of
listening to
people.
unfortunately, if you're listening to this podcast, you're probably someone who might be kind of down to do that. But yeah, I guess that's a good point.
They
A lot of
did.
people don't want to.
There was another visa or way of getting a passport. It was the golden passport, is what they were calling it
Hmm.
for Portugal.
Okay, do tell more.
And so it was a program that Portugal was doing basically. So what you had to do was you had to move to Portugal and live there full time. I don't You didn't even have to buy a house or anything.
Okay.
All you had to do was move there and live there for, I think it was either 6 months to a year,
Mm-hmm.
and then you could get a passport.
Whoa.
Yeah. And so
I'll do that.
well, yeah,
Okay.
because of what you're saying, they stopped it. So it's relatively recently that they stopped it.
Okay.
I'd say within the last couple of years, because I think it was to encourage more, you know, expats, tourism and stuff, people visiting.
Mm-hmm.
But fucking Americans ruin everything for everyone. And so there were so many
Say this with love.
Americans going to Portugal, living there, buying homes, getting the
Oh,
passport, because Portugal's in the EU. So I mean,
right.
once you get that, it's your golden, literally golden passport.
Yeah.
So all the Americans were going there and getting these passports and buying homes, and the real estate like skyrocketed, and so all the housing was getting expensive, everything was getting expensive, and the Portuguese locals like were getting priced out of everything because
Oh, I hate that.
they couldn't afford it, because you had all these rich, people
Yeah.
from wherever,
It's like
California,
what's happening
Florida, or wherever.
in Florence, like what we were just, I mean, it's
Yeah,
happening
just ruining it
obviously
for
so many
everyone.
places. Like it's not just, yeah, but we were talking to someone about that and it's so
Just
sad.
these rich, tech dude bros from, San Jose,
From our,
from Silicon Valley. They just
yeah,
like,
not far from
oh,
ours.
let's just go buy a bunch of mansions in Portugal and then get a passport. And meanwhile, all the people that are like living, born and raised there, like
Right.
can't afford to fucking
Oh,
buy
that's
milk anymore.
not okay.
So they stopped it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, good on paper, right? For those who can do it, but then,
At what
yeah,
cost?
yeah, seriously. Oh, that bums me out. Well, I'm kind of okay. Glad they stopped it, but yeah, that's one of those better in theory ideas. I think.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's one of those things where you try and do nice things for people, and then they
They just
they
take
take
advantage,
advantage
ruin it
and
for everyone.
screw it all up. Yeah,
Yeah, that's crappy.
yeah,
Don't let that. Well, yeah.
say la vie.
It's One of the last things I was gonna talk about today, is there's a fun little thing going on in the wine industry right now. I don't know if you were,
Fun?
yeah,
Oh, I like fun.
yeah, I know, right? So it's called Share and Pair Sundays. Have you heard about that?
Doesn't sound like something I'd be into.
Really?
I don't care.
I
Start.
was
Go.
like,
Tell me about it.
do I,
Share and pair. It sounds like
you know me at all?
you're pairing food and wine and you're sharing it on the internet.
Yes. Oh no, no, not on the internet.
Oh, good. I'm all in then.
In fact, it's to help people kind of like get out a little
Oh,
bit.
yeah. Okay.
So
People like me. Okay.
I don't know, like actually be social for once.
Okay.
Imagine that.
People will be social on their socials. Anyway, continue.
Nice tangent. So, and it reminded me because I was drinking wine, so that's the fun little way to finish up this episode. But yeah, so but what's cool about it, and the reason I bring it up is because it's like really taking off actually.
Well, so if it's not meant for social media, how'd you find out about it?
Well, the company I work for is doing it for a bunch of brands. We manage several of mine being those. And what's fun is each one's doing it a little bit differently. So at least in the cases that I am aware of and the wineries that I am aware of, we are basically they're doing various kind of like tasting experiences. So they might offer like a complimentary tasting for two plus like a little cheese and charcuterie plate.
Okay.
Or like a complimentary, like maybe one of their like signature tastings, but it's like a 2-for-1 kind of a thing or complimentary.
Okay.
And so the whole idea is to, yeah, just get people out to wineries and buying wine again and being social in person.
Well,
but it's really blowing up. I saw it on Wine Enthusiasts Instagram, which I did not, I kind of thought this was like, I know this is like not a big deal to you, but it's a big deal to me. Like it's catching on. It's fun.
Any
like
way to get people to go out and taste wine and have fun is good with me.
Man of many words.
It's good with me.
Glad you approve.
And as long as there's no social media involved and we're not taking photos and selfies.
Can you tell who runs our social media?
Videos or just talk to each other in person, please.
I know. Well, that's the whole point. I mean, I think, and that's what's really
good. I like
sad.
it.
The wine industry, it's been suffering. That's no secret. We've talked about it. We'll continue to talk about it and kind of figure out, just the future of it. But it's just, and traffic at wineries and things are down too. So I think it's helpful. It's helping drive traffic to the tasting room, have people purchase wine, but also just like, and it's cool. I think when, like, for example, we up here, this probably takes place across at least the US, I would imagine, but like restaurant week, so like Napa Restaurant Week, Sonoma Restaurant Week happened not super long ago. I love those, which we didn't take advantage of the Sonoma one. What were we doing?
We have a child.
Well, that's not an excuse. Anyway,
It's not.
I'll finish up with a sidebar on that. But basically it's really cool. So like restaurants will offer maybe like a fixed menu or just like it's something. And we've had some amazing.
Yeah.
Like
no, we've
meals
had
and stuff.
It's
we've
really
done
good
Napa
deals.
Restaurant Week, I think.
3 course, usually prefix.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really, really fun.
Yeah, it's awesome. And so I just think little things like that wineries and larger companies too are trying to implement are just all gonna, I don't know, it's not gonna maybe save the wine industry, but certainly
anything that can help.
Anything
that can help,
because there's something also similar. Again, I don't know how widespread this one was. I didn't hear about this as widespread, but there was one back in October called Come Over October, and it was like kind of a similar idea. And I love that. It was like throughout the month of October. And this share and pair thing is and also depending on where you are and when you're listening to this, like look it up and check it out and see who's participating, because there could be, depending on where you live, a winery around that is participating and doing something cool. But Come Over October was cool too. It's kind of a similar concept. They came up with like some sort of offer or some sort of thing to kind of help just bring some people in, and drive traffic to the tasting room. So it's fun.
I like all those little fun things.
Okay, the last thing I was going to mention, that was not originally part of this episode, but now that it just came up, I saw a reel. It was this mom. She was like holding her baby, super cute baby. And, there's always been you and I have definitely talked about this. People tend to like get more limited with their travel and going out and doing things because they have a baby
Of course.
or a kid or
Of
multiple
course.
kids or
Yeah.
whatever. And it really, yeah, it kind of prevents people from living their life, right? And I think, and before, I never wanted to talk on this topic before we had our daughter because I'm like, we don't know,
Mhm.
like we're not, yeah. And I would definitely think, or I'd be lying if I said it didn't like alter our decision making on some of the things
Well, yeah.
that we do, right? Or it's like, okay, it's like what's it worth? Are we up for dealing with that today? Whatever
Yeah.
it is, going and
Yeah.
doing stuff with her.
Gotta like get her ready, put her in
It's
yeah.
like it's kind of a whole thing. But
All the
I mean more
steps.
for like trips, right? Big travel
Oh, yeah.
things. Now we recapped this trip. We took her to the East Coast and Italy, and that was
A lot.
amazing. She did well. It was a lot, absolutely. But I am proud of us that we did not stop living our life, so to speak, because
Lived even
we
harder.
because we had her. And basically, what this woman in this reel was saying was she, I guess, was pregnant at like Burning Man or something.
Oh
And I think
God.
she was waiting. She was going to the bathroom or whatever she was doing. She's waiting for something, right? And this like kind of older guy comes up to her, and I think they were like talking or whatever. And he was like, "Can I give you some advice of like as a father of four or whatever, or piece of guidance, word of wisdom, whatever." She's like, "Sure, yeah, I only have this one. Like, yeah, lay it on me." And I'm paraphrasing, but he was like, "Don't keep doing what you're doing. Don't stop living your life.
Mm.
Bring them into it
Mm-hmm.
and like make them a part of it and do it with them as much as possible. Don't
Yeah.
like don't stop like
Yeah.
don't stop living. I was gonna say don't stop believing,
No,
but
yeah,
yeah,
I
like
get
don't
it.
stop living your life
Yeah.
because because you have them. Just
Yeah, I
like
mean, so many
bring them into
people,
it.
I mean, people that I know, it's just like they just completely don't do anything. They don't
Yeah.
travel, they don't go on like a day trip. They just
Yep.
can't be bothered. Just stay at home all the time, don't do anything.
And this is like outside of being able to afford it or anything like that. Of course, finances, all of that is a factor.
Yeah.
Of course, like
I'm not saying you have
we
to go to
know kids
Disneyland
are
every week.
kids ain't cheap. Yeah, for sure. But I think it's just like what I loved about that and what I took away from that is like making it work for you. Of course, if you don't feel super comfortable going on big long haul trips or not until they're older or whatever, like okay, but almost like challenging yourself a little bit to like
I
still
mean,
kind of get
it
out and
also
do things
depends
and
on the kind of person you were before you had a kid too. I mean, if you
yeah,
were a homebody before, like I mean, whatever. But
it might become more of a homebody
if you were
after having a
more,
kid.
interested in like
Yeah.
doing things and experiencing life
Hmm.
before having a kid, like don't stop doing that.
Yeah. I said to you before we even had her, I was like, she is not gonna prevent us from doing stuff. We're not gonna be those people. I
Oh,
refuse.
yeah. I mean,
And I
she
think you even were like, yeah, okay. Like, yeah, we're for sure gonna like not do certain things. And I was like, okay, I hear you. But like, let's really try and be
I mean,
intentional
yeah,
and
she
still
already our daughter already has more miles flown than I had until by the time I was
yeah.
like 12.
Hmm.
She has like way more miles flown already, and she's a year old basically.
Yeah.
So I mean, she's definitely ahead of the game.
Yeah. And she hasn't even traveled as much as some other people
I didn't
with
even get
kids
my
I know, which is
passport till I
amazing.
was like 25.
Yeah, me neither. I got it at like 18, just about. Yeah, 18 when right before I studied abroad.
Yeah,
But my parents were well traveled though, and we went a lot around the
yeah.
United States. We just didn't really, for whatever reason, go. I don't know why we didn't kind of go out of the country. We did when I was older.
It's
Maybe, yeah,
expensive.
I don't know. Maybe they just. I mean, we weren't like, yeah, we certainly weren't like rolling in money, but I kind of, yeah, I don't know. For some reason, that just didn't. They didn't do that, but yeah, I don't know. So we were just.
You got to
I
time it
was like,
right too. I
man, I
mean, it's
want
like
to.
when you're a kid, like a teenager, you only have certain times of the year, otherwise you're in school.
Also, school. That's a great point. I kind of forgot
Mm.
about school.
I know it's been a while.
Yeah. Also, jobs. My parents' jobs, whatever. Just
Hmm.
maybe just not being. I don't know. It's that's the bummer part about them not being here anymore. I can't ask.
True.
But I can kind of think back on my childhood. But that's what's kind of cool and what I know we want for her. But anyway, I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on that, and just if you kind of feel, if you do have kids, if it has kind of changed that for you. There's no right or wrong answer, truly, and there's zero judgment. I just thought that was such a cool, just a nice perspective from someone random on the internet, but also just as some guy that had 4 kids, I'm like, damn, if he can do it, we can do it with one. Although I will say, I feel like, because we're going to Hawaii kind of soon-ish as of the time of this recording, and we were talking about that, or we were throwing around Lisbon. We were also throwing around Switzerland. We were throwing around some places in Europe,
European
and then
places,
and then Hawaii too. And I would definitely say, also, would love to go back to Hawaii. I have never been to Maui.
It's so close.
So yeah, for us in California, it is much closer for sure. But I 100% would say the age that our daughter is now played a factor.
Sure.
Played a role in our decision on that, because we had to think, okay, flight time, 5 hours versus 14 hours. And mind you, she's on the verge of walking right now. So we're like this could be such a tough flight if she's just wanting to go and go. I don't know. Like, maybe, I don't know. But then I also talk to parents where they're just like, oh my God, when they're 2, 2.5, 3, it gets worse. Like, I don't know. She was like borderline squirmy on the flight to Italy and back.
Oh, she was kind of a nightmare on the way home.
Yeah, that was a lot of lack of sleep. I felt bad. There was a lot of factors around that. But yeah, I mean, it's not preventing us from going anywhere, but I definitely would say it's having a little bit of a impact on like where we're choosing to go right now.
Yeah,
at least.
Yeah,
and then but we're also trying to travel with her before she's 2, because then we have to start paying for.
It's an easier flight, honestly.
Yeah, and also, just to be frank, like, probably more relaxing compared to now. Here's the thing,
because you're not going to be on the go. In Hawaii, you're just like relaxing, but when you're in Europe, you're just like, I want to see this, I want to see that, I want to do this. So it's just not as relaxing, especially with a little child, because you gotta lug them around everywhere.
Yeah, and honestly, she's a great little travel. I mean, listen, she's only 14 months old, so thus far she's been great. And I honestly think she would have done well. I think she would have done, like, let's just use Portugal as an example. That's kind of the two we were going back and forth between, Hawaii and there. I think she would have done amazing in Portugal. I think she would have a lot of fun. Truthfully, the only thing I really worried about was the flight.
Yeah.
To be very honest,
it's just,
once we get there, I'm like, we'll figure it out.
You're flying, you're very trapped in a small tube.
You can't really go.
And there's only so much you can do with a child.
Yeah, I don't
want
to be that parent
putting
that
a video in front of their face. Well, I did that for you.
Yeah, but you carried her. It's different than like a little kid, like, just running amok, and I don't know.
Just put on Miss Rachel and call it a day.
Oh my God. Yeah, literally. She's in a trance. Thank God for that woman. Yeah. So anyway, would love to hear your guys' thoughts and feedback on that too. It's definitely something, I think, now that our daughter's getting older, is like just kind of on our mind. Yeah. In terms of like where we're going moving forward, and we, where we would go at what ages. We've even talked about like Disneyland and stuff like that, 'cause I am desperate to go to Harry Potter World.
Oh yeah.
Like, so bad. And I was like, I want to go for her 2nd birthday. And we've been debating between 2nd and 3rd. And I was like, I can't wait till she's 3.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry. I can't do it. Or you and
we'll see.
Or you and I will go.
We'll see.
Pawn her off on your mom, and we'll go for my birthday, and then we'll go. That's what I was saying. I was like, we'll go. We'll scope it out. We'll get like lay of the land, and then we'll take her.
Okay.
I think that's
okay. Fine.
Solid idea.
You win.
Anyway, all right. I think that's our smattering of topics for today.
That was a very big smattering.
Okay, that's. I literally
consider me smattered.
When we were talking before we started recording, I was mentioning a smattering of topics, and he was like, "That's a gross word.
It's kind of gross.
Please use anything else." But yes, hearing it from you, I don't like that.
Yeah,
it's like moist. No. Anyway, thank you guys for hanging out with us on this very random little episode, but hope you enjoyed it. Always want to hear from you guys, so let us know your thoughts, questions, all the things, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.
Cheers.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us and tuning into the Taste Toast Travel Podcast. We really appreciate you being here and hope you're enjoying these honest conversations about all things sipping, savoring, and seeing the world. If you like what you're hearing on the podcast, we would truly appreciate a rating or a review on whatever platform you're tuning in on, so fellow foodies, Epicureans, and travel enthusiasts can enjoy this content too. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give us a follow at Taste Toast Travel. We'll see you in the next episode.